Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the next episode of Supernatural Season 6. For you guys on YouTube, hopefully this would be like just the normal amount of time between episodes. But for me, I know this is delayed on Patreon because it's been a few weeks since I've last had a chance to record anything. Life has just been very, very busy. It's been a busy time at work. I was hoping after a big month of May was over that work would quiet down. It's actually got busier for various things that I'll go into another time, hopefully. But it's just been very busy and I've not had a lot of free time. So it's been a few weeks since I last watched Supernatural. The last episode we watched was called Mommy Dearest though. And what I do remember is it was the end of Eve. This person who has been set up as this big bad villain for the rest of the season was bumped off. She bit Dean and sucked a bit of his blood, but he drank the Phoenix ashes, so it was in his bloodstream, and so Eve got killed. And I just remember being really surprised because, like I say, they set her up to be this villain, and that she was going to be the push towards the finale. She was going around America and creating these demons, creating these monsters, and the whole parasite thing, which led to Rufus and Samuel dying and XYZ. She was set up to be this big thing, and now she's dead. So what I do also remember was that the ending was revealed that Crowley is not dead. I thought he was dead and going to come back, but all along he was not dead. His death was faked by Castiel. And we don't fully know all the details, but we just know that they're working together. I presume it's to do with the fight against Raphael, that war in heaven, and maybe Castiel is working with Crowley to get souls to work in the war, to, purgatory and all that jazz. I'm sure it's going to be explained in this episode because I got a few comments over on Patreon about the fact that last episode, I wasn't necessarily disappointed. I was a little with just the end of Eve and just the suddenness of all this and the unevenness of the season. But a few comments on Patreon did say, and this episode wraps everything up, ties it all together, answers a lot of questions, and you guys have hyped this one up quite a lot. So I'm hoping it's a good one. I'm hoping I enjoy it as much as you guys seem to really enjoy it. It sounds like there's going to be a lot of questions answered. It's going to explain a lot more about how everything in the season ties together and maybe addresses some of the points that I had about the fact that this season felt uneven, disjointed. There was bad guys coming and going here and there, and this person's a big bad guy and they've gone, this person's a big bad guy, they've gone. Apparently this episode will tie it all up in a nice little bow, at least on the most part, so we'll see if you've hyped it up in the right possible way. Let's jump into the episode to find out. It's called The Man Who Would Be King. So that to me, I presume, is going to be about Crowley, because obviously he was the king of hell, then he died, isn't actually dead, he is now back. Well, he's always been alive, they faked his death, we know he's working with Castiel. Maybe this episode we're going to find out why and the details of that agreement and that arrangement. If you enjoyed the video, leave some comments down below, let me know what you thought of the episode. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and take a look at the Patreon link down below for the full reaction to this episode and help support the channel. Let's jump into Supernatural Season 6, Episode 20, The Man Who Would Be King.
I've been here for a very long time.
Who's he talking to?
I remember many things.
Okay.
I remember being at a shoreline, watching a little gray fish heave itself up on the beach, and an older brother saying, "Don't step on that fish, Castiel.
Is this like
Big plans for that fish."
start of humanity?
I remember the Tower of Babel. All
Yes.
37 feet of it. And
So when he became
I
Castiel.
remember the most remarkable event.
Oh, when
Remarkable
he took
because
over
it
Jimmy's
never
body.
came to pass. It was averted by two boys, an old drunk,
Two men. Hey.
a fallen angel. The grand story. And we ripped up the ending. And the rules.
Poor Adam
and
though.
destiny.
He's still trapped down
Leaving
there.
nothing but freedom and choice. Let me tell you my story.
Okay. I'm listening.
Let me tell you everything.
I can see why people might already like this episode a lot because people love Castiel. And if this is an episode about Castiel.
So any word on Satan Jr. being alive?
So this is current time now, okay.
I just don't understand how Crowley could have tricked me.
Really?
He's a tricky son of a bitch, that's how.
Really?
But if he is up and kicking, then what does matter is finding him, ripping his head off and shoving it up his ass.
Good luck with that.
But Cass, you'll call, right? get into real trouble?
He's fighting a war in heaven. Of course he's in real trouble. This episode already feels very different. And just something about the tone of it is... God.
Howdy, partner.
What the hell is going on?
Found a lot of things. For example, Eve's brain, dead as a tin kipper. And yet,
Was that Eve? Okay.
for some reason,
Is that fish eggs?
keeps laying eggs. Chocula here feels every tickle.
What is that good for?
Apart from the obvious erotic value. You know me.
You said Eve could open the door to purgatory.
Correct. I did. And I'm confident that she could have.
But she's
if she
dead.
was still alive! Single best chance to get over the rainbow, and the Winchesters killed her.
It was unavoidable.
You screwed up, Cass. You're distracted. And that makes me nervous.
I am holding up my end.
Ah, yes. But is that all you're
What is this torture room?
I needed to know what they know.
About what? About me, maybe? Because I happen to have it on good authority that your two little pets are currently trying to hunt me down!
Of course they are.
Forgive me.
I
think
would
we might have
be.
a little conflict of interest here.
My interest was conflicted. I still considered myself the Winchester's guardian. After all, they taught me how to stand up.
Hey, ass butt.
That was an amazing moment though. He collected like
Stand for,
exploded him.
and what generally happens to you when you do.
Hey. Hey, 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 what's this?
And then the most extraordinary thing happened. I was put back. Once again, I went to Harrow Hell to free Sam from Lucifer's cage.
Did we know he
It was
pulled Sam out?
Nearly impossible.
'Cause I don't feel
But I was
surprised,
so full
but
of confidence.
did we know
of
that
mission.
at this point?
I see now. That was arrogance. Because of course I hadn't truly raised Sam, not all of him.
No.
I'm begging you, Castiel. Just kill the Winchesters.
No.
Fine. Then I'll do it myself.
Hell
Kill them, I'll
no.
just bring them back again.
No, you won't. Not where I'll put them. Trust me.
I said
No.
Don't worry about what like Lucifer didn't worry. Or Michael. Or Lilith. Or Alistair. Or
Hey,
Azazel didn't
hey,
worry.
hey.
I'm the only game piece on the board who doesn't underestimate those denim rat nightmares.
You know, he's our friend. And we were lying to him through our teeth.
He's also lying to you.
So Crowley tricked him. You think the Cass is in with Crowley?
Yes.
Crowley? I'm just saying, I don't know.
Unfortunately,
I
he
hate
is.
myself for even thinking it.
Or he's like playing
Don't
both
No.
to try and get the best outcome.
Look, Dean, he's our friend too, okay?
Oh,
And I'd die for him, I would, but... Look, I'm praying we're wrong here.
But if we ain't, if there's a snowball of a snowball's chance here, that means we're dealing with a Superman who's gone dark side. One problem at a time here.
does Dean know
We
he
gotta
stood
find
there?
Crowley now, before the damn fool cracks open purgatory.
Maybe he's invisible.
they already suspected.
Where's Crowley?
Okay.
If there was a demon counterpart to Bobby Singer, Ellsworth would be it.
It's a scary thought, to be honest.
No, I don't care. I want you to get down to New Mexico and bag me that Wendigo. The hell, hang on.
What? It's literally Bobby. With all the phones and her maps and everything. Good move. She had to stop him before. Wow! Has he always been able to do that?
I had no choice. I did it to protect the boys. Or to protect myself. I don't know anymore.
Probably a bit of both.
God brought you back. He chose you, Cass, to lead us.
No. No one leads us anymore. We're all free to make our own choices and to choose our own fates.
What does God want?
God wants you to have freedom.
But what does he want us to do with it?
If I
She
knew
doesn't
then
understand the
what I know
concept of
now,
freedom.
Explaining freedom to angels is a bit like teaching poetry to fish.
Yeah, if you only all you know is orders, freedom's
And then
a weird
there
thing
was
to
Raphael.
wrap your head around.
You came. You'll kneel before me and pledge allegiance to the flag. all right?
No.
And what flag is that?
Me, Castiel. Your allegiance to me.
Why?
I'm joking.
Do I look Like I'm joking? We'll start by freeing Lucifer and Michael from their cage. And then we'll get our show back on the road.
Raphael, no. The apocalypse doesn't have to be fought.
Of course it does. It's God's will.
How can you say that?
Because it's what I want.
Well, the other angels want
I don't like Raphael.
I mean, when there was no one, and we were stuck, and I mean really stuck, he broke ranks. He has gone to the mat, cut and bleeding for us so many friggin' times.
He has.
Don't we owe him the benefit of the doubt, at least?
It's funny that he gives Cass more benefit of the doubt than he gives his own brother at times.
But I didn't go to them. Because I knew they would have questions I couldn't answer. They were my friends.
Yeah, I had a feeling he was going to help protect them because he does care about the boys. He's just determined not to let Raphael win, which is fair.
I firmly believe Crowley is alive.
Yeah, you think, Kojak?
I think we owe you an apology.
Why?
We've been hunting Crowley this whole time. And keeping it from you.
We thought you were working with him.
You thought what?
I know. It's crazy, right?
It's just that you torched the wrong bones. It doesn't matter.
Just hope you can forgive us.
They trusted me again. But it was just...
Why? Just because he appeared and saved your lives?
Thanks.
Or did he...
Thanks, Cass.
Or does he think they trust him but they
Absurd,
don't?
though. I know. Superman going to the dark side.
Castiel. Why did you say that?
Still just Castiel.
He gave himself away.
guess
That's what Dean said
we're
before
kryptonite,
when he was listening in.
Exactly. Of course, I didn't realize it at the time. But it was all over. Right then.
I'm glad that Dean realises anyway.
The Winchesters still buy it. The good Cass. The
I don't
righteous
think
Cass.
they do
As long as they still
anymore.
believe it, you get to believe it. Well, I got news for you, kitten. A whore is a whore is a whore.
Raphael was stronger than me. I wouldn't survive a straight fight.
Which would make sense why maybe he's called on Crowley to help.
So I went to an old friend for help.
Oh, Dean.
But watching him, I stopped.
Oh.
Everything he sacrificed. And I was about to ask him for more.
Ah, Castiel. Angel of Thursday. I want to help you, help me, help ourselves.
Speak plain.
So
I want to discuss
Crowley approached
simple
him.
business transaction, that's all.
I want to make a deal.
I'm talking about Raphael's head on a pike. I'm talking about happy endings for all of us.
So he'd made the deal with
All
Crowley
possible entendres.
before episode 1, essentially. Interesting.
Just a chat.
This is hell.
Yeah. See, problem with the old place was most of the inmates were masochists already. A lot of no one likes waiting in line.
What happens when they reach the
I
front?
don't know.
Nothing.
We Brits love to queue.
Are you proposing that I start a civil war in heaven?
Ding, ding, ding. Tell him what he's won, Banner.
You're asking me to be the next Lucifer.
Please. Lucifer was a peasant.
That's an interesting way to put
Daddy
it.
issues. Cass, you love God. God loves you.
This is ridiculous. I mean, the amount of power.
He's raising some good
to mount
points.
A war.
More than either of us have ever seen, yeah. But what if I said I knew how to go nuclear?
Oh, God.
What do
Purgatory.
you mean?
Purgatory, my fine feathered friend.
How would you find it when no one ever has?
We'll need expert help.
Is that Eve?
From experts, of course. I know 2 eerily suited Team Beat models with time on their hands.
No.
Then I know of a certain big, bald patriarch I can take off the bench. The point is, they can get us to the monsters. The monsters can get us to Purgatory. I know it.
Alphas.
You can save us, Castiel. God chose you to save us.
Is that using the power of the
There
soul,
will
then?
be no apocalypse.
We have a new plan. We think we finally figured out a way to track down Crowley.
What is it?
They're gonna trap him.
It's you.
The fire circle thing.
We're gonna talk.
You
about
got
what
caught
let
out,
go.
buddy boy.
Superman. And Kryptonite. Look me in the eye and tell me you're not working with Crowley. This whole time.
I did it to protect you. I did it to protect all of you.
Protect us how? By opening a hole into Monsterland?
He's right, Cass.
I mean, yeah, that's
One
not
drop
good.
got through and it was Eve. And you want to break down the entire dam?
To get the souls. I can
It's
stop
not going to be
Raphael.
that straightforward, though, is
Please,
it?
you have to trust me.
Trust you?
I am the one who raised you from perdition.
What? You did a pretty piss poor job of it.
That's not a nice way of saying thank you.
Wait. Did you bring me back soulless on purpose?
No.
Would you think that? Raphael will kill us all. He'll turn the world into a graveyard. I had no choice.
No, you had a choice.
Could have been honest about it.
You just made the wrong one. When crap like this comes around, we deal with it. Like we always have.
Together.
What we don't do is we don't go out and make another deal with the devil. You should have come to us for help, Cass.
Maybe.
But like he said, he wanted to protect the boys. Like, they were out. They were out. Oh, Jesus.
Damn it, Cass, we can fix this.
Dean, it's not broken.
I mean,
Run. You have to run.
what he's doing
now.
is bad.
Run!
But I also understand why he's doing it. I don't know.
I promise, nary a hair on their artfully tousled heads. Besides, I think they proved my point for me. It's always your friends, isn't it? In the end. We try to change, we try to improve ourselves. It's always our friends that gotta claw into our sides and then hold us back.
True that.
Get out of my sight.
Well, glad I came. You know the difference between you and me? I know what I am. What are you, Castiel? What exactly are you willing to do?
I want you to understand.
Believe me, I get it. Blah, blah, Raphael, right?
I'm doing this for you, Dean. I'm doing this because of you.
Because of me. Just because you can do what you want doesn't mean that you get to do whatever you want.
I know what I'm doing, Dean.
I'm not gonna logic you. Okay? Next to Sam, you and Bobby are the closest things I have to family. That you are like a brother to me. So if I'm asking
His
you
little eyes.
not to do something, you gotta trust me, man.
Or what?
But then they're going to lose the war.
Well, I'll have to do what I have to do to stop you.
You can't, Dean. You're just a man. I'm an angel.
Right, they stopped
I
Lucifer.
don't know, taking some pretty big fish.
Sorry, Dean.
Oh, I'm so conflicted.
I'm sorry too, then.
I don't like it.
That's why I'm asking you, Father. One last time.
Towards a god.
Am I doing the right thing? You have to tell me. You have to give me a sign.
Does he get a sign?
Give me a sign.
I feel for him weirdly, like, I don't know. Okay, well, I didn't get a sign then, so I'm thinking there wasn't one. Okay, that was my reaction to the Supernatural Season 6, Episode 20, The Man Who Would Be King. And I think when people were hyping this episode up as like their favourite of the season, and how much they love it, and there's going to be loads happening in it, or at least a lot of things explained, I think I expected it to be a big episode in terms of like scale, in terms of a lot happening. And whilst a lot did, it was more of a big episode in terms of explanations, kind of seeing how Castiel's journey throughout the season and filling in some of the gaps. And it was quite a quiet episode. Is that a good word to use? I don't know what it is that I'm thinking, but it wasn't this big, like, action-packed episode. But it wasn't trying to be. It was trying to be, right, here's Castiel's struggle and his story and some emotional bits with it and I liked it. I don't think I probably loved it as much as everybody else did. Maybe that's what I tend to always find, though, is when episodes are hyped, I'm never going to match that hype. Maybe on a first watch, maybe on a rewatch, maybe. But just in general, in life, just the way my brain works, with TV shows, with movies, with books, with anything really. Like when people go, it's amazing, it's the best thing ever, you've got to watch it, I love it, I can't wait for you to watch this, you need to see this. I'm always going to be like, there, when they're there. And that's maybe just how my brain works. But I did like it, I thought it was really good, and answered some questions that I had, and was weirdly emotional. I did a lot of conflict, so I kind of just want to talk about my conflict with Castiel, just here and now, because it's on my brain. But I'm in a weird place where Castiel was doing bad things for a good outcome. So it kind of feeds in a little bit to what I have said throughout the season, which is with the boys, they don't seem to really understand the war in heaven and how big it is and how important it is and how life-altering it would be and how world-ending it would be. Like we saw if Raphael won, he's going to kickstart the apocalypse, he's going to re-release Lucifer, we're going to have the apocalypse again that we spent the whole season 5 trying to stop. And it feels like throughout the season when we've seen Castiel's off doing whatever he's doing, the boys just want him to come along. When they click the fingers, why is Castiel not here? We need him, we're important, our little struggle's important. And don't get me wrong, some of the struggles are important, some of them are just monsters, but they always just seem to click their fingers and want Bobby and Castiel to come running. And that's kind of what has fed into my thoughts a little bit, is that they've not fully understood, it feels like, why he's done what he's done. They've kind of just gone, you're working with Crowley, that is bad, you're doing a bad thing, stop it. It doesn't feel like they've sat down and kind of fully got to grips with why he's doing what he's doing. Why is he working with Crowley? Why does he want purgatory? Why does he want all these souls? We know, because we know about the war, we've seen bits of the war, we've seen different angels and some of the conflict. And now through this episode we saw Castiel's journey, which I'll talk about in a second, but the boys are just pissed with him. And I get that. Like, this is why I'm conflicted, because I don't want him to work with Crowley. I like Crowley as a character, but he's not a good guy. And obviously he's like, I'm going to help you win this war. Obviously he's got his own agenda to that as well. And he wants a stake in purgatory. He wants the power to help him in hell. And I also get that the boys are right by being pissed because he faked Crowley's death. He pretended that Crowley was dead. He did the whole thing with the bones, which was obviously fake, and pretended that he's still dead, and they had to figure it all out themselves. And he's going, no, everything's fine. I think Crowley might still be alive. And they're like, yeah, we know he is, and we know that you're working with him. It's like a conflict for me because I like Castiel, and I totally, in some ways, I'm on board with what he's doing because I don't want the apocalypse to happen. You know, that would be very, very, very bad if the apocalypse happened. I don't like Raphael, so I want Raphael to be stopped. And if that means using these souls, it's not good. But if these souls are in purgatory, they're dead anyway. It's kind of one of those like, it's just one of those like, is it a necessary evil? Maybe, because ultimately they're going to stop the war and the apocalypse, and that is a good thing. But I also agree with the boys that he's lying, he's going right behind their backs, he's being sneaky about it, and that isn't fun, especially when they're trying to ultimately they all want the same outcome. But I think a big part of it to me is what's been going on this season, which is Sam and Dean don't seem to fully get to grips with the war in heaven. Does that make sense? I'm hoping what I says makes sense. I'm sure you guys that have watched this season inside out multiple times will be able to talk about things that I maybe have missed and whatnot and why I'm probably wrong. But that's where my mindset is with that kind of argument a little bit is, I don't know what he's doing, but I understand why he's doing it, so good. Going about it the way he's doing it with the sneakiness and the lying, bad. But the boys don't seem to fully want to get to, they don't seem to listen to him a lot. They just kind of go, you're doing a bad thing, stop, that's not good, why are you working with Crowley? Well, it was only a few episodes ago you were working with Crowley. Yes, you had your own agenda too, like Castiel does, but you were working for him as well. So you can't then judge Castiel for doing the same thing when you've not fully sat down, properly with him and listen to his reasons and his story. And so his story is he got brought back from the dead after Lucifer killed him by God. God brought him back, and he brought Sam back. Did we know that? It was presented as in like it was new information that we didn't know that he brought Sam back, but it just didn't surprise me when he said that he brought Sam back from the dead. And I was like, okay. Maybe I should have reacted to that. Maybe that should have been a oh my God moment. But there's something about that it was either God. We thought it was God, though, didn't we? I don't know. It just didn't really take my surprise. But he brought Sam back, obviously minus her soul, which was unfortunate because of all the stuff that happened in the first half of the season. And after Lucifer got put in the cage and whatnot, Raphael wanted to take over and was taking over and to restart the apocalypse. And that's another question that you can answer, which is, have I missed something? Or is there a reason that Raphael is like next in line in heaven? Is there something that I've missed? Is there a line somewhere? Is there something in the Bible that I've missed? I don't know, but there seems to be like this vacuum in heaven now that God's not around, and obviously Lucifer, and that's been stopped. And Raphael was just like, yeah, I'm taking over now. Why? Why are you taking over? What's caused that? But he went to Dean to try and get help, but didn't want to bring Dean out of that life. Like, he got out. He was living a happy life on the most part with Lisa and Ben, and he didn't want to disturb that. But that's when Crowley approached him to make the offer. What I actually like and thought is interesting is that Crowley's been working with Castiel since basically before episode 1, and so the whole time this has been going on behind the scenes, but it makes a lot more sense when I watch it through back now. So when I was trying to find out why did Crowley want the Alphas, because they do the wicked to Purgatory, why did Crowley want Purgatory? For souls. Why? Well, we know why. Because he's also trying to help Castiel stop the war, but he also, the souls are power. And, you know, that's what, that Crowley wants power. Crowley wants to be, he's the king of hell, he wants more power, he wants to solidify his position there. Great. Not good for us. But I get that. Like, I totally understand his reasoning. And it was interesting watching kind of Castiel's journey throughout bits of the season. Once we kind of learnt about the deal and the fact that they were working together to find Purgatory, there wasn't a lot more to kind of learn, really, other than kind of just more about Castiel's emotions with the whole thing and how he was feeling. And it was clear that he was struggling. He was on the struggle bus. Destination sad. And I get it. Like, he clearly wasn't okay with what he was doing, but it was also a necessary evil. And we saw that kind of the Titanic episode, which kind of highlighted the fact that he did this big thing for the power to help against Raphael, but also was on the struggle bus because of the whole thing. And I get it. Like, I feel for him. I really do. Like, I like Castiel as a character. I like that he's conflicted, and I like that he's a darker Castiel this season. He's doing all this bad stuff. And now we've learned that it's not just that he's like, well, I'm going to win this war. I've got to do it. Let's go. He is struggling, and he is conflicted, and he is sad and keeping secrets. And we saw that even when he was like sneaking around watching Sam and Dean and Bobby talking, he didn't look happy about it. And not because of what he heard, but because I got the impression, at least, that he didn't like the fact that he was kind of eavesdropping on his friends to find out what they knew. And they knew that he was working with Crowley because obviously Eve told them and hinted obviously what was going on, and they put the pieces together. And that was one of my favourite moments of the episode, because it was such a moment that you see in a lot of shows, which is he's been eavesdropping on their conversations and heard them talk about what phrase did they use? They used Kryptonite and Superman going to the dark side, and he heard that conversation. So when they confronted him, or they spoke to him about Crowley, he then said, oh, so funny, like an angel going dark side, or whatever phrase he used. That instant moment of, oh God, he's used the phrase that he shouldn't have heard. Why has he used that phrase? He doesn't know pop culture references. So the fact that he used that phrase straight away to me was, and Dean as well, that's why I like that Dean picked up on it straight away, which was, how did he know that phrase? It was great. And that's some of my favourite moments in shows, movies in general, is when someone's acting like a bad guy or a villain, but like they think you think they're your friend, or they're your boyfriend, or they're part of your friendship group, or whatever. They're a good guy, but behind the scenes they're being evil and doing bad things, and they say something and they let themselves get caught out, but they don't realise they've done it, but one of the main characters does. I can't even think of examples, right? But I also know that I've seen it in things before, where bad guys get caught out by saying the wrong thing. It's like a slip of the tongue. Actually, I can think of one from my show, my favourite shows of all time, Alias, right there. But I don't want to explain the circumstances around it because it is a big spoiler for the show. Please, if you've not watched Alias, please watch it. Trust me, you will not regret it. But that whole moment of he said the wrong thing at the wrong time, and Dean and me picked up on it straight away, was beautiful. And Dean's face was changing, and he knew Castiel had been eavesdropping on him, and that I really enjoyed that. I thought that was really brilliant, and they confronted him and put him in that circle of fire. And it's the ending scene when it was like Castiel and Dean arguing. It's difficult to watch because we see the emotions that Castiel's going through. He's not doing this lightly. He's doing this because he's got to do this to stop Raphael, and we want Raphael to be stopped. But Dean is hurting, and obviously he's going to take it harder than anyone else because of his relationship with Castiel and his friendship. And he said, other than Sam, you and Bobby are like my family, closest thing to family. And we could see the change in Castiel's face in that moment of the sadness in his eyes. I don't like it. I don't like it because it kind of reminded me a little bit of season 4 when Sam and Dean fell out towards the season finale. This feels like that, which was obviously Dean and Castiel have always been like friendly and close, and the banter, and I'm going to take him out drinking, I'm going to take him to a strip club, and Castiel's like family. And now they've split up because Castiel wants to carry on doing what he's doing. Wants is a wrong term. Needs to carry on doing what he's doing. He's also not in Crowley's best books because he's helping the boys. So he's trying to kind of balance both things and do a balancing act of helping the boys but keeping them away from Crowley. But Crowley's doing a bad thing. So Castiel's in a really weird position. So yeah, that scene at the end was really hard to watch because just the emotions behind what they were saying and the looks they gave each other. It was difficult. I don't see how this is going to be resolved, because even if they stop Raphael by the season finale, he's still done all this bad stuff. Unless they stop Raphael and Crowley, then maybe. But I don't know right now where the path to their mending their friendship is at this moment in time, because he's lied to them, he's eavesdropped on them, he's done sneaky stuff, he's been working with Crowley. So like I say, I get they're pissed. I still think that they don't fully take his side into account. And there was that really awful moment at the end when basically Dean said, stop what you're doing, and Castiel said, or else what? And just that tone just made me feel so uneasy, because it was one of those, what are you going to do? And well, they have stopped angels before. They stopped Lucifer. It took a hell of a lot, but they have killed angels and they stopped Lucifer. So possibly they could stop Castiel or Crowley or both. But my guess is with the power of the souls that they're using, or at least trying to use, because they are trying to get to purgatory. They opened the door briefly. Eve got out. She was never a big focus of the season. It was just she just got out at the right moment in time. Still seems a bit weird to me that she was the mother of all the monsters, and they didn't really do much with that concept. That is a bit of a shame to me still. I know everyone said after this episode it will all be fine, but I still think it is a shame that they could have used that concept in a later season maybe, and she could have been the villain of the season, which is the mother of all evil. That is a powerful thing. And whilst people might like the fact that she was just this mother of all evil and got taken down pretty quickly, I don't know, maybe they could have done more of that concept later on down the line, but they didn't. So anyway, he got stopped. They're still trying to get their way, find a way to purgatory. This was a lot. This episode was more emotional than I expected it to be. And maybe there's bits that I've missed to talk about. Didn't like Raphael, but I like to see bits of Heavens again, and focusing on Castiel, finding a bit more about not just what he's doing, but his thoughts, his feelings, his emotions behind it was tough to watch, but also powerful to watch. And the boys not trusting him wasn't nice, but they were right not to trust him, and he was listening to them not trust him, tried to be all cool, and then he shot himself in the foot, and there was a lot going on. I really enjoyed the episode, but it was hard. It was tough to watch just because you don't like watching our core group of people, Sam, Dean, Bobby, and now Castiel be at odds with each other. We never liked that. I never liked that. And so this was tough to watch from that point of view, but I enjoyed the episode. I'm excited to see the next couple of episodes. We've got 2 episodes left of the season. I imagine it's mostly going to be focusing on this fallout, Crowley, Purgatory, Souls, Civil War in Heaven. Which, speaking of, I like the fact that they're mirroring the past setup of Heaven when they're saying Raphael and Castiel is like, the last thing is like Lucifer and Michael all over again, like 2 angels fighting to win this war, and how Castiel could be the new god in heaven, and Castiel could be the new devil in hell, like basically the new kings of their domain sort of thing. And it's interesting. It's really interesting. I'm curious to see where it goes. I don't really have any guesses, other than I think that Castiel will win the war, but at what cost? How is he going to be able to repair his relationship with Dean and Sam? Bobby, I don't know, but I'm curious to find out. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope I answered all the questions that you might have about my thoughts on this episode. I feel like there's bits that I've missed to talk about. If there is, let me know down below, and I will put my thoughts down and have a conversation with you about that. But yeah, good episode. Really enjoyed it. 2 episodes left of the season. Not long to go before we finished season 6. Thanks for watching. As always, my name is Scott. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave some comments down below. Let me know what you thought of the episode. What were your thoughts on Castiel's journey in this episode? And that moment of, oh yeah, Angel going to the dark side. That mic drop. That moment where he put his foot right in it and revealed himself to be a sneaky son. What were your thoughts on all those moments of this episode? Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Take a look at the Patreon link down below for the full reaction to this episode and help support the channel. I'll see you all very soon for the penultimate episode of Season 6 of Supernatural. Season 6? Did I say Season 6 already? I think I did. Anyway, the penultimate episode of this season. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. I'll see you all very soon for the next episode. Bye, guys. Take care. Stay safe.